So this is gonna be fun to talk about. There's three tag related stories that I want to go ahead and talk about. Story number one: Tag is going international. Tag announced that they're opening up a headquarters in Brazil. Story number two: we're going to be talking about the people who are still grading with Tag, paying that $150 submission fee, the express fee, in the hopes of creating a profit. And story number three is going to be the Collectr app. It looks like the Collectr is doing a lot of good job promoting competition to the general public, as they always show whenever a Tag 10 or even a Black Label 10 sells for more than the PSA 10 counterpart. So let's go ahead and begin. Tag just released a statement this week saying Tag está chingando. It means, loose translation to my people who don't speak Spanish is like, or Portuguese is like, yeah, Tag's about to F you up. I'm just kidding. I'm not really sure what chingando means in Portuguese. I mean, I probably could have searched it up, but let's just be a lazy American and assume it's growing or something like that. Let's do that. It's like, but the statement reads, it's official. A new Tag grading headquarters is coming to Brazil, and the work is already underway. While the infrastructure at Tag US headquarters continues to grow and tackle the backlog, another home is taking shape overseas or across the border. A dedicated team is building Tag in Brazil from the ground up. Soon you'll be able to grade your cards with the same technology, the same standards, and the same Tag certification trusted worldwide. Grade locally with no needed shipped overseas. We want to help cards in Portuguese earn the world recognition they deserve. Join the waitlist and be part from the very beginning. So yeah, Tag just went ahead and published that statement, and it's a good thing. Look, we already know that Tag Grading has a headquarters in Canada. I love their page. Honestly, the pictures they post is very artistic. People really are creative with displaying the Tag slabs. Even though you have content creators or other people saying that tags are horrible because they're transparent, here's the thing: they're a blank slate. You can go ahead and customize those slabs, putting whatever you want behind them, decorate them however you want to. I like the fact that they're transparent allows you to be more creative, to personalize your collection. The fact that some of these collectors like Twice Baked Jake or RoboSkills hate on Tag because the Tag slab is transparent is ridiculous. But Tag is so simplistic, so transparent, so see-through that it allows you to really customize the slab so it can reflect your collection. Personally, me, I just like putting up in one of these, the black look. I can see the label, I can see the card perfectly. I like it like that. But if you want to have it outside, yeah, I get it. It's not going to be the best. And if you put a background, it's going to look even better. So I like that. But going back to Tag going international, look, the fact that they have a Canada location headquarters, they got a US headquarters, obviously now they're opening a one in South America, South America. That's fantastic. It really does, especially that now people don't have to pay express shipping for their cards. Not express shipping, international shipping, so they can go ahead and get their cards graded. They might still have to pay international shipping depending on the countries going to Brazil, but I'm sure it's going to be different. It's going to be more cost effective for them, seeing how Tag is already very cost effective for graders, because you can go ahead and grade with any card at any value bulk, right, at any tier, and not be subjected to the upcharge. That is a beauty about Tag. Fight me, argue with me on that. Look, here's the thing: if you don't have to pay the upcharge, it doesn't matter if you're grading vintage, mid-modern, hyper-modern, whatever you want. Regardless of the value, you can wait until bulk submission is open again, or value submission, whatever Tag wants to go ahead and grade it. Grade as many cards that you want and never be subjected to an upcharge. It's fantastic. But now that you're having Tag being like the AI grading company in Canada, in the United States, and now in South America, in Brazil, which is a huge country, right? It's a huge country. it just shows you that probably tag is going to be the gold standard of AI grading. Whenever any company is going to do AI grading, tag is going to be the PSA equivalent. Now, the only thing that I believe tag needs to continue doing is promote the score, include the score for free in every single submission. It shouldn't be locked behind a paywall. Tag shouldn't be doing that. Personally, I believe that if there's one flaw with tag grading, is the fact that they're locking the 1,000 point score behind a paywall. It should be free. It should be free regardless of the submission. If you're paying the cheaper options, then yeah, you're probably paying for like a slow turnaround rate. But whenever you're paying for like a fast turnaround rate, like, you know, it's already included, but that should be the standard quote. Now, I did have an interview live with Henry from Henry's Poke Corner, and we were talking about like Mexican, like the Pokemon market in Mexico, and now kind of like I guess in South America. But if you do some research, you guys see that English Pokemon cards are very popular underneath the border, mostly for the monetary value. And then they collect Portuguese cards, they collect Spanish cards, they collect Japanese cards as a more cost efficient way. Now, I don't know how more cost efficient it's going to be like Japanese, because Japanese is expensive now from what it started, like from where it was like 2 years ago, from where it was 3 years ago. But you know, English obviously has the highest resale value because US, Americans, whatever you want to call them, collectors are willing to pay a premium for English cards. Now, let's go ahead and talk to subject number 2. Are people still grading with tag, and are they willing to pay the $150 express shipping? Turns out they are. And the best way I can use an example of this is going to be with the latest set in the Japanese side, one of the newer, hotter sets, Abyss Eye and the Mega Darkrai. You only have express grading. There still has been 34 Mega Darkrai cards graded through tag. Now, whenever we look at the gem rate, out of those 34 cards, 80% of those cards have been or have gotten a tag 10. 5 of those have gotten a pristine score. Makes sense. Japanese cards have better quality control. The fact that this card is probably dark, so it's going to hide print lines, it's going to hide impact lines, it's going to surface scratches might be an issue, but I feel still like the surface scratches can go ahead and blend with the card because it's a all black background with white marks for the art. Their surface scratches can probably be mistaken and being seen as part of the art. That as the system continues to evolve and grade more of the Mega Darkrai's, right now the gem rate is going to be relatively high. Makes me wonder, how high is the gem rate going to be in the English counterpart? Because there's already been reports, there's already talk saying that the Mega Evolution era has a better quality control than the Scarlet and Violet era when it comes to the English counterpart. The fact that you'll be able to grab that card, because the Japanese counterpart for the moment is a $500 card raw. It'll probably settle down somewhere around like $350, low 300s. That probably means that the English counterpart is probably going to go somewhere around the $600, $700. It's going to be a very popular card for the Mega Evolution block. But the PSA 10 Japanese card sells for $1,700 in a PSA 10 counterpart. Now, we talked about the tag cards. You know, last time I talked about them, there was only 5 cards out there or 8 cards out there. Now there's 34. But the one example I'm going to go ahead and use is the first card that I went ahead and covered. That's going to be the tag 10 card that had a score of 183. Because whenever I saw the dig reports, the population reports of this card, it made me wonder, like, who's really grading with tag at the moment? Is it going to be collectors or is it going to be flippers / investors? I decided, or I concluded, that for the most part it's investors and flippers. These are the people that are grading with tag because they're trying to make a quick buck. Look, if a PSA 10 Japanese Darkrai is selling for $1,700, then you can expect the tag 10 sell for the same amount or even more if you can go ahead and get the pristine 10 copy. Whenever I did my research, we were seeing that the tag 10 card with a score of 983, that was the highest at the moment. The person listed it for $2,250. I personally thought that was way too high, and I knew they were going to lower down the price because the day afterwards the pristine 10 came out. Sure enough, I was right. They went ahead and lowered down the price. I think you can find that card right now for $1,500. It has a score of 983 points, meaning that there's a couple cards that if you can get like 7 points higher, you're going to have a bigger negotiating price for the card. And this is the beauty of the score. Like, honestly, whenever these apps, like whether if it's Collectr, whether it's Double Helix, or whatever is price charting, if they do take tag serious, they're going to have to separate the sales with the score, with the card score differently. They have to do that, especially because not all tag 10s are the same. Every single tag 10 with the score is different because you have a sub score to telling you which one's the better quality card, right? So back to the 983 card. Yeah, they lowered down the price to 1,500. So that's $1,000 discount. And then it went from the highest tag 10 card out there, it got bumped down to number 8. Honestly, I think they were too aggressive, asking for over $2,000 for the first tag 10, and it came back and it bit them in the ass, considering that there's already 5 pristine 10 copies out there. 2 pristine 10s have the score of 992. 3 pristine 10s have the score of just 990, right at the threshold. We're probably going to see copies going for a lot higher than that. Whenever we do, we can go ahead and suspect that the Collectr app is going to go ahead and promote, or is going to go ahead and show the difference between a PSA 10 Mega Darkrai being sold for whatever price it does, or $1,700, to a tag 10 score that sells for more than $1,700. It's going to happen, 100% guaranteed. Look, if you're going to be grading with tag, if you're a collector, I'm going to keep advocating this. If you're a collector, just wait until the standard or the value tiers come out and then send your cards into for grading. If it takes a month and a half for you to get your cards back, fantastic. Collectors really shouldn't care around the turnaround date, especially if those cards are going to be going to their PC. If you're going to be grading with tag so you can flip, you can invest and try to make a money, like even then, like you have to be smart about what you're doing. Cause let's go ahead and break down the math. Look, right now I think the booster box, the Japanese Abyss Eye booster box is gonna run you for around $140 after shipping and taxes. So you got $140 plus you're gonna be paying $149 after taxes. You're looking like at around, let's just call it an even 160 for the shipping or for the grading price of that one card. You're already looking at $300, and that's not considering that you still have to pay for $20 shipping from tag to come back. And then the shipping, if you're trying to be the first one, you want to pay express shipping, so you're probably adding another $50 to $60 on shipping costs alone. So already your buy-in price to get a card graded with tag, you're looking at around $360. Now let's say that tag 10 Mega Darkrai sells on eBay. They're going to take away 13% of that card. So if you do the math of 1,700 times, 13%, which means you're going to be getting 87% money back of that card, that's 1400. Like that's 1400 minus the 360. You're making over $1,000 of profit. That's good profit margins. You can make a sustainable business like that. You hit it once, you're able to sell, you can do it a couple more times. And that's assuming that you can either pull the card raw. If you have to pay the card, like if you're buying the card at shops or you're trading into, the card is going for around $500. So, if you bought the card for $500, hold on, let me do that math real quick. Subtract another 500 on that. That's a profit margin of around $600. That's a lot of work, assuming that you can go ahead and move the card fast online, getting hit with those fees, because it's important for tag these slabs to sell online and these apps to pick up the prices. It's good for I'm not gonna say it's good for the economy, but it's good for the recognition of tag slabs. But the people who are doing this, like 50% of their profits are being eaten up on buying the booster boxes, buying the raw cards if they're gonna buy the raw cards instead, the grading fees, the shipping fees, and then the selling fees. They're getting hit hard. So you're looking around 50% loss from your overall profits on that card. So it's sustainable, but for how long? And that's assuming that you have a very, very good grading eye. Now let's go ahead and talk about the very last story about today. And that's going to be that it looks like Collectr supports tag, and the way that the way I'm bringing this up is that every single time that a hyper modern tag 10 slab sells for more than the PSA counterpart, you can expect for Collectr to go ahead and make a post on it on Instagram or on TikTok or wherever, showcasing the price difference and the population. This one is going to be the Forest Chew from Ascended Heroes, right? From Ascended Heroes. A tag 10 card sold for $4,600 for the Forest Chew, and a tag 10 with the PSA 10 counterpart goes for around $3,300. Now the population is very different. There's 189 there's 189 tag 10 copies, while if you look at the PSA counterparts, there's over 3k copies of a PSA 10 Forest Chew. Look, I'm gonna be telling you this over and over and over again. If big money is entering the hobby whenever they're buying cards for their collections, yes, PSA for now is the most recognizable, has the highest resale or the fastest turnaround times. But Collectr keeps showing you and that the scarcity of population, whether if it's a tag 10, whether if it's a black label 10, these cards will always go for significant more than PSA 10s. The thing about this sale is the score on this card, let me check, of the tag 10 Forest Chew has a score of 984 points, meaning it's not even close to being the highest. And this is an English card, and there's already 2 pristine 10 Forest Chews in a tag slam. One of them has a score of 991, and the other one has a score of 992. And I can promise you that the moment that those slabs sell online, whether if it's an eBay or an auction house or somewhere, Collectr is gonna go ahead and advertise it. In order for a hobby to stay healthy, you gotta show the competition. You have to give it its place. And Collectr does a very good job of promoting the tag 10 sales from hyper modern cards compared to the PSA 10s. Now, I hope in the future we do have the situation where we have a black label hyper modern card, like for example the Magikarp or the Bubble Mew. Let's go with the Bubble Mew because the Bubble Mew sold for $250,000 there's another sale for over $230,000. Like, yeah, like still over $250,000. I wonder if the pristine 10 tag 10 counterpart is gonna sell for something close to that. And if it does, then I can see more people grading with tag, just for the fact that $150 with a 5-day shipping around, like turnaround time, could be very, very beneficial for margins. Like you can make a lot of money back in those margins. Aside from that, I mean, it's been a fantastic week. We talked a lot about tag grading. We talked about tag grading going international. We talked about the pros and cons of trying to grade with the express shipping, and sometimes it's gonna kick your ass if you try to overprice a card, a Japanese card. Like it, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with the English counterpart in tag 10. It's gonna be fun to see this. So the pros and cons of paying for the express shipping with tags, so you can go ahead and grade those cards because people are obviously doing it. And then the social media presence that tag grading has on all platforms, especially Collectr. I really do hope that you guys are having a fantastic day. If I really said something that really struck a nerve or they made you think, go ahead and drop the comment. I would love to discuss it with you. Aside from that, I really do hope that you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.